Welcome back, everybody. Today we got a new power inverter to show you. It's made by a company called Junbpaw. It's a pure sine wave inverter. The wattage on it should be around 3,500. So the model number is 4080 ATS. ATS stands for automatic transfer switch. Basically, this inverter can be grid tied into the grid, and if there's a power outage, it'll switch over automatically to the battery power. We're going to have several videos out on this inverter over the next couple months. Right now, we're just going to test the actual power output and see how clean it is. So we'll take a look at the specs real quick and take a look at the instruction manual. All right, if you see right there, it's a 4080 ATS. Rated power is 4,000 VA. Continuous power is 3,500 watts, so it's around 4,000 watt power inverter. 60 hertz, 35 amps. That's everything laid out. They include some cables for you. These are 3 gauge. And for short-term or experiment use only, to achieve the maximum 4,000 watts, you need to parallel 2 gauge or thicker. So we will be using these for experimenting purposes. It comes with an on-off switch, which is really nice for remote access. And this thing is solid metal. No plastic on this. Comes with a bunch of Cat E5 cable. Not sure how many feet this is, probably 10 feet or so. Doesn't really say, but it's probably 10 feet or so. The instruction manual and the actual inverter. We'll take a look at the inverter in a second. Let's take a look at this instruction manual. Seems to be pretty good. It's a US standard model. It's just telling you what an inverter is. Pure and modified sine wave. So this is a pure sine wave here, just like it's coming out of your wall socket. All your warnings. Less than 3% total harmonic distortion. That's really good. And it's telling you the protective functions. Basically different buzzer noises and everything. That's inside your inverter. So you got DC input, which is your battery. DC to DC rectifying. DC to AC, your filter, and then your final output. This is for the smaller model, so we're not going to pay attention to this. This is the model we have here. So as you can see, maximum power between 3,500 and 4025, which is 100 to 115%. You got 7,000 surge, continuous 3,500, that's good. 60 hertz with a 0.5 up or down. Your TDH is less than 3. Regulation's 5%, which is good. Your input voltage from your wall socket, if you're using the automatic transfer switch, can be between 80 or 90 and 130 volts, so that's good. Switching time is less than 20 milliseconds. And that's basically 35, and you're not going to get more than 35 amps out of a wall socket anyways. 12 volts DC, no load is 1 amp. Efficiency is around 86%, so that's pretty good. Standby is less than 1/10 of an amp. So 10 volts under voltage. All right. So pretty standard stuff here as far as the inverter is concerned. Normal conditions, going to be 12.5. So not too bad. That's showing you how to do your automatic transfer mode there. Basically, you're going to have grid power and your load coming in, and it's just going to be bypassing this inverter the whole time. When grid power fails, that battery will click in and it'll still feed. And that's your diagram inside. Here's all your specs. Dimensions. Your accessories, and it does tell you the size fuses you should have and your battery capacity. That's really helpful. So if you want to run the larger inverter here like we have, you're going to want 480 amp hours, and that's about right. That's about right. So RJ45, let's see what the cable includes. RJ, oh, you get 16 feet. So you're going to get 16 and a half feet of RJ45. That's pretty good. Shows you how to connect the loads. So this is a really good instruction manual. It's basically telling you everything. All right, now we're gonna take a look at the front of this inverter here. Basically, you got two inputs. You got your regular power switch on and your remote switch. That's your remote that goes over to the screen here. Underneath here is gonna be your input and output for shore power. Take that off really quick. All right, you got your AC in and your AC out. Basically, that'd be shore power coming in, and then this would be feeding whatever you have down the line, whatever you want to run for 120. And then you have your battery in the back, and it'll do an automatic switching if you lose shore power on the AC inside. All right, on the back side, we got two large fans, and you got your terminals in and out. Nothing too fancy here. You're just gonna go ahead and take the cap off, finger tight, and then these slide off, and then you're gonna make your battery connections here. So we're gonna go get a battery, get this thing set up, powered on, and see what type of power it produces and see how clean it is. All right, everybody, we got our not so scientific setup. Basically here, we've got a 1,875 watt hair dryer and a 1,500 watt heater right here. That should put us right around 95% of the inverter's load. And the Fluke multimeter here will watch the Hertz and tell us exactly what's going on. So we're gonna get everything set up and turned on and see where we're at. All right, we're set up. We're gonna turn on the inverter. Decent rush of fan. All right, the first load we're gonna put on is going to be 750 watts, and that's on a heater. All right, fans kicked on. Hertz still look good. We're gonna turn on 1,500 watts. Still maintaining the Hertz, looking real good. Now we're gonna turn on the low setting on the hair dryer. Alright, we just pushed up the high. And now we're running the full 100 watts right now. So the Hertz stayed perfect. It jumped up, let's see what that does. So that's just the heater alone. At almost 1,500. That's low at about 2,000. About 2,800. We'll let it cool down real quick, reset. Everything looks good. We're gonna try and get one more load on here though, and ramp it up some more. All right, we added one more hair dryer to the mix here. Get. Start out slow with the loads again and work our way up. It's about 730. Brings us up to about 1,500. 2,000. That's 28. That's 3,000, still putting 60 Hertz out, no problem. Voltage sag is due to the battery input, so it's not the inverter's fault. 3,100. As you can see, that jumped up to 7,000. We actually overloaded it. All right, as you've seen there, we were able to bring the inverter up to almost 3,200 watts. It does have a continuous rating of 3,500 watts, so we were over 90% capacity. It held it no problem. Our limiting factor was the battery. It was only a 100 amp hour battery. So it did drop down very quickly. But as you've seen in the video, the Hertz stayed at 60.2 Hertz the entire time, even with voltage sag, which is amazing. So we are very happy we got this inverter. It seems like a solid, reliable built inverter. It's pretty heavy, and we can't wait to test it some more. We're gonna try the automatic transfer switching system in the future. So stay tuned. Please share, like, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.